and welcome to the ComiXpiracy episode 330 for the week of October 24th, 2017. And hopefully this episode doesn't sound like shit.
No, you need to sell it with new and improved audio.
Yeah, new and improved audio.
Well, here's
all new, all different ComiXpiracy
Here's how we test. This is me with my microphone on. This is me talking off. Now this is me talking with my microphone on. Hey, it works! Hey, we did it. Yeah, I'm very sorry about last week, guys. We had a very good episode with talking about Legacy, and
that's a stretch.
As what happens occasionally, my Audacity program here, although we tested and everything works fine as always, somehow defaulted back to the internal microphone on our laptop. So you heard me okay, but everyone else was like shouting from the back of the room. So I'm sorry, and hopefully that won't happen again.
Yeah, and he swears to us that wasn't intentional.
It was intentional.
Because it was a Marvel episode, so of course.
Yeah.
My goal here when Bryce was going to be here tonight, I was actually going to cut the audio off halfway through and just run it backwards, but he just, I figured, yeah. I'm Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Jim Jokisch.
And Charlie.
Back to No West?
No West this week. I got to change it up occasionally.
Right.
Bryce was
keep you on your toes.
Bryce was supposed to be here today, but he had some family emergency last minute, so hopefully he'll be back next week. That's the plan. Next week we are going to do our Legacy, the wrap-up of the first month. Yeah, part 2 for October, and talk about the books in the last 2 weeks, including the stuff out today, and then or tomorrow as we're recording this.
And yes, Cable is one of those issues we'll be talking about next week.
And then we'll probably end up doing like end of November, maybe first week of December. We'll do a wrap up on all the November titles, and then who knows? We'll do the December stuff at some point. I'm still trying to plan out our end of the year episode. We'll do our normal double parter, best of, maybe last week of December, first week of January. We gotta figure out what we're doing.
Somewhere in there, you have to do a Thor review. You have to do a Justice League review. You have to do a Star Wars review.
No Star Wars. No Star Wars. We did our big Star Wars episode. But yeah, Justice League episode coming up, Thor episode coming up. Mamma mia. Lots of long podcasts to record. Fortunately, this one will probably be short now that
you just jinxed it.
Now that Bryce isn't here. So we're going to do things a little backwards today because Bryce was just going to babble about how good Marvel Comics between the letters H and L were for about 3.5 hours today. Instead, we are going to do all our questions up front because the back half of our episode we're going to devote to talking about the season premiere of Walking Dead, which just came on. I unfortunately did not get a chance to watch it, but the rest of you fine folks got to see it.
We're going to ruin it for you.
That's fine. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I love Walking Dead.
It doesn't matter.
No, I love Walking Dead. Leanne's really checked out of it, and I like it. I'll watch it when I watch it. I'm not in any rush.
On the questions.
Yeah, let's have some of these questions first. Jim, you eating popcorn?
No.
Okay. I hear you crunching. Ulysses on Twitter asks, "What do you want in the next Daredevil season 3? And what's your favorite Daredevil run or graphic novel so far?" Anyone got anything they want to jump on?
Well, I mean, for me, it's all about particular Daredevil runs. I mean, as much as I like the Frank Miller Daredevil run, I kind of preferred the Bendis run in some ways, just because of sort of the long-form narrative they did. And it was funny because I remember when the Bendis run ended, I was like, holy crap, who's going to pick this up? And then it was Brubaker, and that was good too.
Yeah, well, he did such a long run on that.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean,
so it's not really a single graphic novel or anything. It's just all about like the good long runs on Daredevil have been amazing, and like even the Wade run on Daredevil was good.
Yeah, I think most people will agree. Obviously, Frank Miller, the Kevin Smith run, the Bendis run, Brubaker run, and now the Mark Waid run. We've had some really good runs on Daredevil for the last 20 years or so. As far as what's on the show, just no Elektra. I hope that's my only hope is she's just not involved because. Ugh. But yeah, I don't care what they do. well, no, we know it's Born Again, right? I mean, that's they hint at that at the end of the at the end of the season 2. So yeah, I'm assuming they'll. Well, Born Again was only
6 issues.
Was it even 6? Yeah, it was a short run. Yeah. So I'm sure there will be more to it than just.
We'll get another
story.
Half season of Elektra and half season of something else.
God, I hope not. I really hope
not. I would not be surprised if they, because I mean, am I misremembering? Didn't Born Again kind of lead into the Bendis run? Like, wasn't it Born Again then the Bendis run? Or am I...
Born Again? No, Born Again.
No.
That
Born Again
was
early
80s.
stuff.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
that was.
No, my brain is mixing stuff up right now.
I'd like for them to bring in Typhoid Mary.
Yeah.
That was right after the Born Again.
Yeah, that's a similar era. They could do that. They may have announced some specifics on season 3 other than Born Again. I don't know off the top of my head, but
I'd love to see some more villains. I'd like to see a more variety of villains. More
Stiltman.
That's what I was going to say.
I would love to see Deadpool's rogues show up. So all the
Deadpool's.
Deadpool. Sorry, Daredevils.
I was going to say, if you really want to bring in Deadpool's rogues, I mean,
no.
Maybe they can get away with it. I don't know where
those
the
show up. We're going to see a variety of villains show up.
Well,
even if it is just for a half episode or something like that.
Yeah.
They do need to do something with Bullseye. Like, they desperately need to do something with Bullseye.
It feels like the one. I mean, Kingpin, Elektra, Punisher, Bullseye. That's like the
that would be
fourth
the
one.
one.
Yeah. But Typhoid Mary could work too. Next question. We got one here from also from Ulysses, who says, you talk about the controversy over the Justice League runtime. Now, I don't know if you guys saw
How
this.
is that a controversy?
It's a controversy because people are morons. So all weekend long, there was a rumor floating around that. Well, I think prior to this weekend, there was a rumor floating around that Justice League was going to be nearly 3 hours long. The movie.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's what I said. But runtime puts it. I want to say 2 hours and like 4 minutes.
Yeah,
2
2 hours
believe.
and like a couple minutes. Which means it's 2 hours of credit.
And that is still not official. But apparently, this is what Fandango and some of the movie websites are saying, that this is the information they're getting. But Warner Brothers has not released an official time yet. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of the DC movies, so don't get me wrong. But apparently, this really pissed off some people that they were like, I mean, it's the internet. You never know how you never know what the rationale behind this is. Whether it's someone that's really mad about it, or whether it's someone trying to fake being mad to make people look bad. I mean, you just don't know, right? But some reviewers and some people that were reporting on this were getting like, death threats and like, oh, this is bullshit, fake news, this is nonsense. It's going to be 3 hours. It's like, who cares if it's 2 hours? It's going to be a short. This is short for a superhero movie if it's 2 hours.
I'm just thinking like, if these places have got some information about it, that's great. But I mean, if it's actually 3 hours and 4 minutes long, I feel sorry for the guy that sent out that little information thing to everybody and accidentally hit 2.
Well, I just
Well, no. I mean, the way they've made it sound is they list it in minutes and
it's
then
like
people do the
124
math.
minutes, I think.
But I mean, while 2 hours is a little short, it's not really considered a short runtime for a movie.
No.
Like,
no,
I consider this silly because I mean the main controversy is just that would make it the shortest DCU.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
what? Wasn't Suicide Squad only like an hour and some odd minutes?
No, I think it was a
The
bit longer.
director's cut will be 3 hours.
Yeah.
So Justice League is listed as 121 minutes. So I'm sorry. So 2 hours and 1 minute. Man of Steel was 143. Dawn of Justice was 151. Squad was 123. So it's the same length as Suicide Squad. Yeah. And Wonder Woman is 141. Who cares?
Yeah.
If it's good at 2 hours, it's good at 2 hours.
Yeah.
If it's bad at 2 hours, if it's bad at 3 hours, it's bad at 3 hours. Like, I don't care how long a movie is. I just want it to be good. So
I'm trying to stay away from the articles with the Justice League just because there's so much down and stuff. I just want to see the freaking movie.
Yeah, of course.
To me, what it kind of boils down to is this. If it was 3 hours, you'd have the internet all up and roar about a 3 hour movie and
we're going to have Batman, we're going to have BVS again, and blah, 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 blah,
like,
blah.
no matter what the runtime is, you'd have a certain percent of the population bitching and moaning about it. So,
right. Well, and I mean, I don't know when movies started to become like 3 hours long. Like, is this Lord of the Rings' fault? Like, is that the thing that
Lord
did
of
it?
the Rings' fault.
Maybe how long were the Dark Knight movies? They
the
were
Dark Knight
longer.
movies were long.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
like
only the expanded editions of the extended editions of like Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. Those are like 3 hours. Like
those are closer to 4. Those are like 3.5.
Yeah,
3.5.
Really long.
Yeah, that
which I
Enter
enjoy.
Return of the King is just drawn out.
Let's see. Larry from Larry Comics, back in my hometown, Massachusetts. He's got a number of questions that they're sprinkled here throughout my thread. He says, "Are you using ComiXology for the pull and hold? I know you do a digital storefront. Do you think that's going away next?" So for people that don't know, ComiXology is is where you can buy your digital comics from us if you want at digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. It's owned by Amazon at this point, so when you buy comics through that, you're buying something from Amazon, but it's through your ComiXology app or on the website, and you can read them on your computer, your iPad, your tablet, whatever, your phone. What they're doing is ComiXology, before they were bought by Amazon, had a separate service that was a pull and hold service. So a store could subscribe to ComiXology to provide with their customers with lists of all the books out that week, and you could do pull lists through ComiXology. We never did that. It was a paid service. I never did that. We have our own. So as far as I put the service is free now for the next 6 months. They're not taking any new subscribers, but it's going away, I think, like in March. So any stores that have that, they have to find a new system. Fortunately, Comic Hub is blowing up pretty big. And I was told we were supposed to actually get our demo copy this weekend, but I didn't get it. So hopefully by next week we have a demo for Comic Hub because I want to run some tests with some people. Pardon me. He also asked, do I think the digital storefront is going away? Well, I got a call from ComiXology. I think I can say this. I don't. Oh, crap. I don't know what.
All right, hold on. Did you sign an NDA?
No.
Okay,
no. I got a call from the heads of ComiXology, and we talked for a few minutes, and they said, hey, I know you don't use the pull and hold service, but we want to tell you that this does not affect the digital storefront in any way, shape, or form, since you're one of the bigger customers for it. So, the digital storefront.
Wait, so they said we're one of the bigger stores?
Yeah. Start calling some of the stores. Yeah, we've always been. We sell a lot of digital books on there.
Thank you, listeners.
Yeah, thank you. So as far as I know, no, it's not going away. I mean, I can't say it won't go away in 6 months, right? But as of right now, no, and they seem happy with it. Well, they're actually redoing the entire digital storefront, at least on our back end. So I don't think they would be doing that if they were going to get rid of it. Yeah. It feels like they would just close it down on our end. Yeah. So they may actually be making it. They may be pushing it harder now. So we'll see.
Well, and I mean, I think that it's a centralized location to get your comics, to get all of your comics, versus going directly through Marvel or directly through DC or directly through Image.
Even when you buy from them, Image, I think you get
Image, you get
a separate thing.
You get a separate thing, but like
Marvel and DC it's just ComiXology.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just powered by ComiXology.
Oh, okay. So they've changed it over. Okay. I hadn't checked it in a long time. So.
Yeah. Yep.
I know Marvel's was different for a while, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they have Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah, Marvel and DC have their own sort of ComiXology digital storefront where you can go check out essentially a filtered list from ComiXology for DC and Marvel and that kind of stuff that they link to on their Twitter and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's all the same crap, just with the different filters applied.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's through ComiXology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they handle the back end on all that stuff. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see them going away anytime soon.
Let's see. Generic Protagonist, I like that name, Twitter asks thoughts on the first Rebirth cancellation, that being Superwoman. Yay, finally. Good. There's a couple that need to go. There's still a couple more that need to go. I would think Blue Beetle, Cyborg, and New Superman are not long for this earth. Past that.
Supergirl's struggling.
I love how you've been saying that, though, for like 6 months.
Yeah. Well, those are the 4 books that are the lowest sellers. They sell, they're all sub-only for us. I sell, I get 1 or 2 copies of New Superman for the shelf. But, I mean...
I stopped picking up Superwoman.
Yeah, me too.
I liked it initially, but it didn't go anywhere. And the last few issues have just been eh.
Well, after they took the Superman and redid him, they just, nullified Superwoman and took her out of the story entirely. Yeah. There's no point for her to be around anymore. I thought the character was cool, and I thought that first arc was okay, but it just didn't go anywhere.
It does feel narratively and that's my problem with New Superman too. I don't really feel the purpose of those books with the current Superman mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I mean, I bought the last 3 issues of New Superman because they had Suicide Squad in them. So, but I'm just a sucker. So,
does it though? It was only 1 issue or something, or 1 panel or something.
So 1 issue they were at the last panel.
Yeah.
Right, the big splash page, what's coming next issue.
Yeah.
And then in the next issue, they were in half the book, and then they were in the last issue. They were in 1 panel, and it was just a distant shot or some shit.
Yeah, it's.
But it's the covers.
Yeah. Larry again says, "Do you think there are too many comic days, quote unquote. Free Comic Day, Halloween Comic Fest, TMNT Day, Batman Day, Local Comic Shop Day. We have Wonder Woman Day this year, Justice League Day. We have Alien Day, Doctor Who Day. I participate in not many of them. Yes, there's way too many. I mean, you just ignore the ones you want to ignore. Like I don't do Doctor Who or Alien or any of those. We do the DC ones because they offer a ton of stuff. But I don't really order it to give away on that day specific. I order this stuff to give away through the year. Yeah. We got boxes of this stuff, and you just keep giving them away forever. This is the first year we're really trying to push Halloween Comic Fest because of our new location. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. Mm-hmm. People said they want to come, and it's Halloween, and it's actually near Halloween this time. Sometimes it's
Halloween's on Tuesday this year, so it's nice to have a weekend prior.
Yeah, it's right prior to it.
Because for me, it's this year I'm not going to be able to take my kids out, so we're going to do stuff on Saturday, and one of the things we're going to come down here, and we're also going to go probably somewhere else to check out something. So it's nice to have options.
Yeah. Local Comic Shop Day, one was good, the second was bad. This year I'm playing pretty close to the vest. I'm only ordering stuff I think I actually have a chance of selling. They have a couple cool, pretty big items this year, one of them being the Hush limited edition hardcover. It's a new cover by Jim Lee, limited to, I think, 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
So we'll only get a couple of those, maybe 2 or 3.
Charlotte gets one, I get the other.
Yeah, there's a couple just...
Toby will fight you both.
I want him... I would love for this to become a big thing, but...
I think the local comic shop day stuff... So the first one was the first one, because I worked
I thought it did
pretty
okay.
well.
Yeah.
The second one...
Nobody...
they didn't put any effort into it on the publisher end of it. I mean...
The products were pretty weak.
Were fairly weak, and so it's one of those things where you want people to come into the comic store, so you need to give them something that they're really going to want, or something that's really going to be exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's going to make them feel like they got something, like because it's like what is it, record day at at Rasputin around here.
Yeah,
you know, they have stuff that people want. People go to. And isn't that normally on Free Comic Day?
What's that?
The record day? Don't they normally fall on the same day?
No. Record store day? No. It's the same day as Free Comic Day? No.
When is the record store day?
I don't remember.
Well,
they do
Ryan's right. You should pick and choose the ones you want to participate in.
Yeah.
And they do like 2 or 3 of them now for Record Store Day.
Okay.
Yeah. But just do whichever ones. Like, we don't have a big Doctor Who or Aliens or Turtles. Like, we don't do a lot of that. We don't sell a lot of those products. So for me, it doesn't make sense. But I'm sure for some stores, it totally works. And it depends what you put into it, I guess, right?
Is there a minimum order on that kind of stuff?
No, not normally.
So, I mean, it kind of sounds to me like if you desperately want something that's available on those days, just let your comic shop know well in advance that you're interested in that stuff.
Yeah.
And if they get enough demand for it, they'll probably participate in that day.
Yeah.
Like a Tick comic.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it going to have Tick Day?
Well, okay.
I wish they would have Tick Day.
The only problem, Charlie, is
Charlie and I would show up
that
Tick
logic.
Day, and that's it.
I just want them to send some antennae that like you can give out.
No, did you get that coat?
No, I still haven't got that coat. I got a nice baseball cap with an antenna.
No, because the thing is you would pre-order the limited Hush. You would pre-order the limited Hush. I would pre-order the limited Hush. Hell, Ryan would probably pre-order the limited Hush
for the hardcover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I don't own Hush in any sort of format right now, other than the single issues.
I own the Absolute, so I'd be a little torn.
Yep.
Because it's not like I'd replace my Absolute with it.
But
I'm sure I would order one.
But that's the thing, is something that they're so it's kind of, to me it's kind of okay. You're releasing this exclusive Hush for local comic shop day, but you're limiting it to a really tiny quantity.
But they're doing that to get people in the store, right? I mean, that's
but I mean,
there's a couple. So there's a couple.
Limiting it to 1,000. There's over 2,000 comic book stores in the United States.
There's more than that, but not many are participating. There's only a couple hundred stores that do this. Okay. So there's a potential for us to get maybe 3 or 4 of these, but a lot of them, I just, I'm like, well, it's a Captain America variant, cool, order 5. Like, there's this other hardcover, cool, order 1. But we went big the first year and we sold a lot. We went big the second year and didn't sell anything. No. So I'm just like, whoop, okay, this clearly is not something that's going to be a yearly thing. Let's just pull back and just order what I think I can actually sell or sell out of. Let's see, Justin, and we should talk about him. Grosjean. Let's say that correctly this time.
The comic conspiracy comic book artist.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If you want to see his Toby Wing
#TobyWing
artwork, you can go to Justin _Grosjean GrosJean, or all of us have retweeted it. And the next chapter,
and it's on the Facebook group now, and pretty much anything you really pay attention to that
associates with us. Yes,
you'll see all his art.
Yep. They what was I saying here? Oh, sorry. Yes. You can go see his art for Toby on there. We'll there's going to be more. That's all I'm going to say. There's more coming. There's more coming. So
I'm next.
Maybe we'll print his comic and do a limited something.
We should.
At the end, we should. I'll totally see if I want to see what we can do with this. But anyway, we're way off topic here. Yes, have you guys heard?
All of you got to sign your section whenever it comes up.
He says, "Have you guys heard about a rumored Swamp Thing book drawn by Greg Capullo?" No, I haven't. That's awesome. I would love for the next thing Snyder and Greg Capullo to do would be a Swamp Thing comic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I no, I haven't. But yeah, there you go.
So
that's
DC,
the end of it.
You're listening. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, Swamp Thing.
Now there is the Tom King Swamp Thing one shot coming out.
That's right.
It's the unprinted Len Wein art, the unprinted Len Wein comic that he did with who the hell was the artist? I'm blanking him right now. But that is coming out with a new Tom King story in it as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
very, very excited for that.
I like Capullo's art. I'd be very interested in that Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
Are you going to put up pre-orders for that one?
For what?
The Tom King one shot?
I mean, it's just a comic. No. I mean, unless we have our comic club stuff set up by then. But yeah, no intention. Larry's got another question. He goes, "Do you think there's going to be a backlash after Marvel Legacy?"
Yes.
I do. That's what he says. I guess we can all go around the table here. There was good and bad in those first couple weeks of Legacy, and now that we're 4 weeks in, there's good and bad, but both. We're looking now at the next issues of a lot of these arcs, right? And I know my orders didn't change more than a couple copies at most in any direction. Subs adding Marvel books was minimal to zero on most titles. Maybe a couple extra copies being sold off the shelf, but I don't think there will be a backlash.
Yeah, I was going to say, depends on how you define backlash, because
I mean, if it's backlash, I don't think sales will drop. I think sales will just remain what they have been. I think we have hit that sort of. What's a bottom plateau? It's not a top plateau. What's a bottom plateau?
You hit it. The bottom. You hit the bottom.
It's not like Spider-Man's going to sell 4,000 copies. Spider-Man will always sell. It's just that number will eventually drift down over the decades.
Well, that's the thing is those numbers have been drifting down and drifting down and drifting down. I think it's more along the lines of, do you think that going into this, 2 issues in, yeah, we were high on that first issue, but now we're going back down. Do you think there's going to be an even bigger drop for the third issue?
Well, for those who didn't hear from the Legacy from the last podcast because of it, but there was no even Spirits of Vengeance, even the ones that were brand new, there weren't any titles that exploded off the shelves.
No.
Okay, no. Part of it because of the shitty lenticular covers, but another part of it is the stories weren't amazing, spectacular. I don't know what other definition.
Web of
uncanny.
Nothing jumped off the shelves last week or the week before. For the lenticular cover.
Even Marvel Legacy, the one shot didn't.
The thing that is kind of too bad about Legacy in a way is nothing that happened in any of the books really generated any kind of buzz. Nobody was talking about, oh my God, did you see? You got a little bit of that in the one shot with sort of Wolverine coming back, but after that, everything that's happened, nobody is.
Yeah, even the Thor 700 barely got a blip of talk about it.
Yeah, I was expecting Thor 700 to be huge, and it
just blip.
Yeah, nobody cared. And that's worrisome because Thor's been a very consistent seller for us.
Yep.
But I think I sold way fewer copies of Thor than I normally did this last week. So if there's a backlash there it is. Short of subs, right? I mean, the subscribers are still picking it up, but I sold almost nothing off the shelf. I had a huge stack of Thor left over. I don't know. That's real strange. People may have looked at that. What was it, $6 or whatever?
Yeah, it's 700. It was an oversized issue. It was. Yeah. It's the only lenticular to crossover with a graphic novel, not a single issue.
Yeah.
Right, because it's the Death of Captain Marvel graphic novel. That's the one that's homaging.
Okay.
But the other ones don't do a graphic novel.
Well, but I don't think that has anything to do with it.
The Spider-Man one's from like a calendar or something like that.
Oh, that was?
Yeah.
But I mean,
no, it's just
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't claim to have any idea why it wouldn't sell better. I spoiler alert, it was good. People should have bought it.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it may have just been between the couple variant covers and the lenticular. I sold exactly as many as I ever would have. I just had 3 times as many comics on the shelf, or twice as many comics on the shelf. So it's just like I shouldn't have ordered any of those. All the variant covers for Legacy have done horribly here. Those headshot covers, and those hilarious Chip Zdarsky How to Draw covers. I literally sold like 0 of them the last 2 weeks. Not a single copy of them, and they're really funny. I think there's just too much crap on the shelf. Nobody cares, right? Yeah. I'll be gushing about a few of the books. I was all over Defenders, but that's no different. That was as we noted, that was the last part of a story arc, not the first part of something new, right? So, Zach Fig on Twitter said something very similar. He says some stores. There was an article on Bleeding Cool that he's referencing. Says that Legacy was a gamble and they lost, quote unquote. Jim Zub says you shouldn't armchair quarterback based on Comic-Con numbers, and I mean that's a tough call because. I mean, you can, right? I mean, we see these numbers, and while they're not 100% accurate, they're
closer than we're going to get.
So when we do the sales chart talks here, and we'll have a new one a couple weeks for all this stuff, for all the Legacy stuff. Comic-Con numbers may not be accurate in their specific number, but they are accurate in the order in which the books are released, and they give you a good gauge of how these books are performing overall. We have benchmarks for what is considered a success based on the direct market numbers. You have to remember, these are numbers, these are estimates of numbers sold only to North American comic book stores and do not include, a small number of reorders. Reorders only pop up on that list when they're of a certain number, which are like huge numbers, right? So you're not going to see reorders. Yeah. Stores may not get our copies. We may get damaged or destroyed or late, and then the book doesn't sell because we didn't get it in time. There's all sorts of things that they don't show the breakdown of variant covers, so it could be 100,000 copies, but we don't know how that works out. I would almost be surprised. I guarantee you, I'm looking at the Supergirl, the Archer cover right here. I guarantee you his covers outsell 3-1 the main cover of the title, right? So, I mean, if you look at the breakdown, I'm sure the Archer covers are way over the main cover. So, I mean, it is a good estimate. It is not strict numbers because obviously the publishers and the creators know the specific numbers and can go back and say, hey, this says I sold 50,000 copies. We actually sold 74,000 copies. Well, we don't know that. We only have the numbers that are provided. If they want to provide more numbers, cool, we'll judge based off that. But we have these numbers here.
Well, I mean, going back to the whole armchair argument, it's like you could have walked into this store today and looked at the back issue wall before you pulled it off. And Marvel has overinflated stacks of legacy titles that haven't sold.
Yeah, some of them.
Meanwhile, DC is trimline because you've been ordering it for a little while. There's not too much going on.
Oh, my DC numbers have been going up. Every week, every time I do FOC, couple extra copies, raised by 2, raised by 2.
The Drowned Metal tie-in that was out last week, you had 1 copy left on the shelf.
Yep.
1. And how many of that did you order?
100. Yeah.
So you sold through 99 copies.
Yeah, it's really good.
Of that versus trying to sell 40 copies of a lenticular cover. You still have 20 or 10 on the shelf.
More, yeah, 15? Probably more than that. Yeah.
He's being nice.
We're going to move on to Lewis. He says, what are the crew's thoughts on the Jetsons series starting up soon? I enjoyed the preview, but will it have the legs of the Flintstones? That's tough. No. I mean, Flintstones obviously didn't do good either, right? I mean, that's...
Well, that's the thing. It's a title that didn't do too well, but received
critical success.
Critical success.
And I think it will... Some titles just have better legs as trade paperbacks anyways.
Yep. Jetsons, I think, will sell well, but I don't think it'll have quite the critical success of Flintstones. It may sell more. I don't know. But, I mean, it looks fun. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely check out at least the first issue. But, yeah, I don't think it'll have quite the reach that Flintstones did.
Where's that Flintstones hardcover?
Yeah, I know. I would love for them to do one. Let's see. DJ Dogboat. What a great name. Dogboat. Dogs. But I don't like boats. And I do like DJing. So that's tough.
God.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Question.
He says, why did I find Spider-Gwen just okay when I usually love Spider-Gwen? I'm assuming you're talking about the new issue, and I don't know, maybe because of Spider-Gwen. And I guess if you find Spider-Gwen okay, I mean, that's your fault. I don't know.
Jesus.
Okay. Spider-Gwen may be bad enough. When she fights a character named Gwenom, I literally can't even anymore. I just can't even. Just stop this book, please. I'm sorry. I know you like Spider-Gwen.
Should be teamed up with Gwenpool.
Just stop. Just stop. You can just stop anytime. You don't have to keep publishing Spider-Gwen. You can have other Spider books.
What other characters could we Gwen?
Why don't we have Spider-Woman? Spider-Woman is good. The last series was pretty good. Why don't they just have a Spider-Woman book? I like Spider-Woman. Or bring back Spider-Girl. Why do you have to have Spider-Gwen? Just stop. Just stop it. That's all I have to say. Just stop it. But I'm glad you enjoy Spider-Gwen. I don't. Cisco. Okay, here's a great topic. This is one I've been waiting to talk about tonight. Cisco says, based on the description of rumor of a $30 Action Comics number 1000 hardcover, hypothetically, how do you think you'll order it? So here's the deal. Book distributor put up for April, which would be the published date of Action Comics 1000, mid-April, assuming the order in which they're being released now stays current, stays consecutive.
Consistent, yeah.
Consistent, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. There is 168 pages, right?
168 pages, hardcover, $30 price tag.
Yep, $30 hardcover for Action Comics number 1000. Now, we've bitched about the shitty $10 Deadpool and Spider-Man issues and stuff. If there is a comic that deserves a treatment like this, it is Action Comics. Just hands down, right?
I agree. I needed to go side by side with my Action Comics number 1. Reprint.
Now, I mean, maybe...
50th time.
Detective, only because of, I think, the people they could put on Detective would justify it. Because you could have, it's got Sandro Capullo and Tom King and Jim Lee, right? And you could get, all of DC's big guys, and it's fucking Batman, so people will buy it. But Action, deserves this, if it's true. How will I order it? I don't know. Because...
Well, the thing is Action 1000 going to have a regular issue?
No, this is the issue.
This is the issue. So it's going to be a hardcover.
So it's essentially a
Fables 150
milestone OGN.
Yeah.
Assuming this is correct, right? Assuming this is accurate,
yep.
Which we don't know, but this is the rumor. So Fables, you guys mentioned, right? Perfect example. The last issue was also the last graphic novel. Mm-hmm. It was one book, issue number 150, but labeled 22 on the side because that was the volume. Because it was it was 150-page issue of Fables. So for that, I ordered for all my regular Fables guys, and then I looked at the people that bought trades that were not the people that bought the single issues because there's a lot of people that buy both, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of ordered that number, and it worked really well. Action's tough. I think every subscriber would take it. And depending on what they offer, if they say this is one printing only, or if there's a lenticular or whatever the special cover is.
They give them ideas.
Short story by Jeff Johns.
Oh, that's a given.
A short story by Jeff Johns. That's an
I think they
100.
said Jeff Johns and Richard Donner are doing a story in it. I think that was mentioned at New York Comic Con. If they say, look, this is a one-time thing, then the sky's the limit because you'll sell those things forever, right? Yeah, tough. But this would explain why when asked if they were going to be store-exclusive variant covers for DC, they were like, no, not for this. Because if it's a $30 hardcover, they're not going to do exclusives on it.
No, please don't.
But this is... No, I couldn't afford that if I wanted to. But this would be cool if it's good creators and done well. And yeah, I think it'll sell really well. But how would I order it? I'd be sweating bullets at FOC, just sitting there with my finger over the 0 button, just how many.
This order is going to be more than any FOC, period.
Yeah. But I mean, I think everyone would buy that, right?
Yeah.
Just not normal. I mean, especially if it's
I think you also, in terms of long-term legs, you're right, that book, even if you had 30 copies after release week,
they're going to sell.
They'd sell over time. You consistently sell 1 or 2 every week.
My question is am I going to be able to fit it in the back issue bin?
No.
Fuck.
Well, so the trades that they're doing, I don't know if it's the small trades or the big trades. I've assumed the small trades. They're like the ones that are out there right now say up to $9.99 and then $1,001 and up. So I mean, it would be and maybe they'll do a soft cover down the road, but I would think they'd just keep it as a hardcover. For maybe the first print will be hardcover, and then the standard edition will be softcover down the road.
Next print's the softcover.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for it either way.
I think we need more information, like who's in it, what are we seeing,
and the Detective 1000 should be next year. So I'll have to do this all over again.
Both of them are next year.
Sorry, 2019.
Oh, okay.
The year after I meant. Sorry.
He was already in April, apparently, when he was talking like that.
Oh, I'm already thinking about next year. Are you kidding me? This year's over.
You're like, where is my Doomsday Clock hardcover, bitches?
Oh, I can't wait. Shit, that will be 2019. Yeah, that won't be till 2019. That'll be like summer. Our good friend, Chris Bunch, asks, which color Lantern Corps is your favorite and why? Anyone?
Green.
Just green?
Oh, I gotta go classic, man. I gotta go grill. Gotta go willpower.
While I love green, there's definitely a place in my heart for red, just for general rage, and yellow because, Sinestro and the Corps and how they kind of turn fear into a good thing sometimes. And orange, just because it's Larfleeze, and Larfleeze is a fucking Muppet, and it's wonderful.
I have 2 lanterns at home, the yellow lantern and the green lantern.
And that's it?
I'd go with black. I just like the color black. Yeah.
I can't go wrong with that. Who doesn't like black?
What's yours?
So actually, while we were looking this up, there's apparently an edit to the story about Action Comics 1000. So there's going to be 2 different Action Comics 1000.
Fuck me sideways.
So this may actually be a little more official here. So let's I'll get back to the Green Lantern question here in a second. So the hardcover is going to be a collection of stories, including Action Comics number 1. I believe Action Comics number 1000. Stories by the top writers, literary wizards, essays. Paul Levitt's an essay, a poster that's a covers collection, and an unpublished 1940 Superman tale believed to be by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, salvaged from the DC files 50 years ago and hidden away forever. However, there will also be Action Comics 1000, a $5.99 comic by Pete Tomasi, Dan Jurgens, including a story by Jeff Johns and Richard Donner. So that's what I saw. So apparently that hardcover volume will be the
limited edition.
Not a limited edition. It's the 80 years of Superman anniversary book, where there will be an actual published print copy of Action Comics 1000 that is a normal comic book that will have different content.
We don't know if those will be the same week either.
Yeah. So there you go. Sorry.
I want both.
Literal breaking news as we're recording.
I want both.
So yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, depending on what's in that thousand, the hardcover version. Yeah. I mean, if it's that issue plus all this other bonus stuff, that totally.
I'm imagining a Superman vault.
Yeah,
everything Superman, from beginning to end.
Yeah.
They didn't make it look like the Fortress of Solitude with a giant keyhole in the front of it.
That could work.
Let's see, my favorite Green Lantern cover. I mean, who doesn't love Black Lanterns?
Color.
Black Lantern's so good. I love Black Lanterns.
Black
Necron, little bit of
Necron
action.
God, Necron's so good. I love Necron. I like they did the they're doing the Phantom Lantern and the Travel Lantern stuff in the more recent Green Lanterns, and that's been pretty good, Chip. I like they're fleshing out that backstory. But yeah. I mean, if you go for like the hero colors,
Knock.
Yeah, Indigo's good. Orange is good.
They're all good. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, they are all good, aren't they?
They are all good.
Love the Sinestro Corps, too.
You just want a Rainbow Lantern?
Well, that's what the
White Lantern.
That's kind of like the White Lantern, where he's able to tap into everything. Cisco, all right, here we go, Cisco. This guy's my BFF on Twitter, by the way, too. It's like we're like very simpatico on everything. He says, "Please echo my rage at Marvel and Netflix releasing Punisher Season 1 on Justice League's opening weekend. So damn mad." Yes. I don't mean to talk about this last week, huh?
No.
You were trying to be nice to Marvel.
Pushed back the release day of Punisher to November 17th, the same day as the Justice League movie. Who called it? That's right, me. Marvel's dicks, confirmed.
Wait, Marvel's dicks or Marvel's a dick?
Marvel's dicks. Marvel is dicks, confirmed.
This is see a dick.
What the heck?
What? Go watch Justice League, go home and watch Punisher.
It's not about the fact that you can do both, because obviously you can't. It's about splitting the weekend's narrative. It's about this continual competition. Just be like, oh, well, Justice League didn't do so well, maybe because people stayed home and watched Punisher. God, I already see the headlines. I already see the BuzzFeed articles. I'm already
Marvel Punisher
mad.
Beats out Justice League.
I'm already mad about this, because if Justice League doesn't hit like $200 million opening weekend US, it'll be like, oh, Justice League's a failure. You couldn't even make this work. You got Superman and Batman in the same movie. Oh, well, we don't know Superman's in it, but we got Superman and Batman in the same movie. Look how bad this did. Fuck off. I'm so frustrated already by this.
It's so October.
Mad. So mad.
Yeah, but Punisher's going to be so good.
Yeah, but
Punisher's going to be good. I mean, come on.
What the problem is we can't just have Justice League come out, and we can't have Punisher just come out, and both of them go on their own merits.
Hey, man, we got a book called Slugfest up there on the shelf. It's never ended. It's just ongoing.
I'm telling you, man. With Marvel, it's a "what have you done for me lately?" What have you done for me lately situation? Because we have Iron Fist, we have Defenders, we have Inhumans, we have Guardians. Gifted's fine, but that's not Marvel, right? We have Guardians.
It's Fox.
We have Thor, which is apparently a laugh riot, so I can't wait to see that. Oh my god, I already know. I would have said next to Charlie.
Handle that Rotten Tomatoes score, can you?
Okay, so I've seen a couple of snippet shots from the movie of just the things they post on Twitter and Facebook, and I can just every time I watch one of these, I just see the cringiness in Ryan's face, just in my mind.
I need to know what all these reviewers' thoughts are of David S. Pumpkins. I need to know, because if they like David S. Pumpkins, then I know I'm going to hate this movie. Okay, I just know. Charlie knows what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know that one.
David S. Pumpkins. Okay, you guys remember last year? As an SNL skit, David Pumpkins. You can see this thing.
No,
nope.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. I'm not the only one. So I saw this online, and everyone
you've seen it, so you're no longer one of us.
No, I up until last night, I saw this thing online last Halloween, and everyone was freaking losing their mind. This is the greatest thing ever, and I'm like, I'm sure this is stupid. I'm not even going to watch it. Now that we're getting close to Halloween, I'm seeing it constantly again, and I'm like, okay, let me actually watch this. It's fucking the stupid. It's so dumb. I hate Saturday Night Live, but this is dumb on another level, and I'm so mad that people like it. And people tell me this is the funniest thing in the world, and I'm just like, this is fucking garbage. So I love the Thor movies, and most people don't like them, so I just know that I'm going to go in and hate this Thor movie. I really don't want to. I really want to love the Thor movie because I've liked all the others, but I'm so terrified.
I love the Thor movies.
Fingers crossed,
Thor.
Fingers crossed.
All the hammers, and this is going to be an awesome movie.
I hope so.
And fuck you, Ryan. It's going to be great.
I trust me, I really want to love it. I really am looking forward to this. And I'm really looking forward to Punisher, too. Punisher, like, that's a no-brainer. How do you screw up Punisher? Says
I was about to say there was a point in time when I think we'd all be like, yeah, how do you?
But they've literally never not screwed up Punisher, short of the Daredevil show. So, yeah, I don't know.
Moving on.
Let's see. Julian Titus asks, the Watchers were in Guardians 2, and the Skrulls are rumored to be in Captain Marvel as Marvel Studios secretly bought back the Fantastic Four movie rights. Maybe they bought back bits of it.
Could have.
I don't know how specific characters work. Maybe they.
Wait, is it Sony?
That's
no,
Fox.
Fox.
Yep.
Oh.
So maybe they just.
Well, I know that they had to do something by a certain time, but it might have expired with other characters.
No, nothing.
Nothing Fantastic Four related.
If they hadn't made the last Fantastic Four movie, the rights would have reverted. But as long as they do anything with the Fantastic Four, those rights remain over. It's all tied up together. It's not if we don't use Silver Surfer by this date, then no, it's
maybe they just maybe they're just Chitauri that they augmented on. They tested on.
Well, the Chitauri are kind of the ultimate. Not. I mean, I guess they're kind of the ultimate Skrulls,
they
right?
Were the ultimate Skrulls.
Yeah.
The Chitauri for the Ultimate Universe, weren't they?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they're from
but
they're
they
the Skrulls from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen them shift though.
You did in the books. You didn't see him shift in the.
I know. I just wanted a fucking cow. Is that too much to ask?
You want a Skrull cow? Skrull burgers. Skrull burgers. Yes.
So Dogboat asks another question. He goes, "Do you think the Justice League movie will suffer because of the Ben Affleck allegations?" Did you guys see any of this stuff?
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't care. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Affleck got caught up a little bit in all the Harvey Weinstein stuff, and there's stuff with Casey Affleck, his brother. I don't want to. This is not a topic for this conversation, but I don't think it'll suffer. No, Ben Affleck's future. Who knows? Especially the rumor that he may want to leave sooner than later. I don't think it'll affect Justice League's performance. I don't think so. It's a great question from M. Just M. On Twitter. He says, one thing that Marvel does that you wish DC did and vice versa. Or same thing with like Image of Dark Horse or any independent company. So let's take the big 3 or 4 here and say, what do you like that one company does and another does? What do you wish other companies did that they do?
It's really hard to do.
I wish Marvel would make
does
better
everything wrong.
I wish Marvel would make better TV series like DC does.
Let's go for comics. Let's just stick with the
comics.
Well, I mean, it used to be a lot of the hardcover and omnibus. Like that's been Marvel's thing forever, and DC's just really opened up the floodgates with that. I love the quality of the Dark Horse hardcovers.
The price point and the price point too. Oh my god!
If all the companies would put out hardcovers that quality at that price,
they're awesome. They're absolute. They're the size of the absolutes without the slipcase.
They're a little bit. They're
about the same. No, about the same thickness.
Huge,
They're and instead of charging us $75 or $100 or $125,
they're like $40.
They're $40. Yeah. They're fantastic. Yeah. I was just eyeballing the
and they're always
the Lara Croft Tomb Raider ones. Though I didn't even know 1 and 2
I think
were
those
out.
are 50, right?
No, they're 40.
40.
Yeah, and I didn't even know 1 and 2 were out. I saw number 3 on your shelf last week, and I started looking at them. Man, they look fantastic.
Yeah. I like, although they're not doing it nearly as often anymore, I do like Image's $9.99 price point for Volume 1 trades. They have stopped that actually more recently.
A lot of companies sort of cycle through that and then away from it, then back to it.
Valiant was doing it for a little while.
Here's the problem. The good thing about it is you get people to try it out. The bad thing about it is Volume number 1 is always your bestseller. So you're going to sell less copies of that, or you're going to sell more copies but make less money, right? So there's almost no reason for Walking Dead to have been $9.99. It's up to like $14.99 now. Regular prices, all the rest. But I think for some books it does help. But it should be like a limited kind of trial run. First print's $9.99, then it goes back up to regular price. But like,
well, with the way a lot of this stuff is now cycling from sort of thinner trades to thicker trades over time, I could see doing the thinner trades at $9.99 and then just transitioning when they go to the thicker trades.
Oh, Marvel, please, your 5-issue freaking little sad trade for, you know, they're putting out $20. For $20, which is almost the same price, if not a little bit more than the regular issues. Please, that as $9.99 would be awesome.
Redneck Volume 1's out this week, and it's like $16.99. It's regular price. So, you know, one of the things I said I wish Marvel would have done is copies DC's little family crossover, the little 1 month 4-issue crossovers, and they did. And they're doing it a lot, probably too much and way too fast and too soon and not really good. So maybe I don't want Marvel to take any of DC's ideas because it just won't do it right. And same with the lenticular covers and everything. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love DC to just take... I would love Marvel to take DC's just mindset and say, look, it's... You've got to try the quality get out of...
I mean, they'd be a powerhouse if they
get out of the gimmicks.
If they took DC's mindset with ordering, with all this stuff, I mean, just the... You know, that's... I mean, that's what drives it. I mean, we started...
They are. They'd sell better, right? I mean...
Well, I mean, just before we started recording, I saw on I don't remember who retweeted it, but they're having their DC Creators Workshop going on right now, and they have like 6 people that made the cut for whatever's going on, and they had a picture of all of them up. I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to see what talent they're going to find now.
Yeah, they do. It's going to be more than 6. They have they do the writer and artist one every year, and they've done it for the last few years. Gus Snyder runs the writer one, and Jim Lee runs the artist one. They have other people that do it.
The 6 is what they've trimmed down to for the main thing
that they've chosen.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, though, from Marvel, I mean, it's tough right now. There's not a lot that they're doing that I think other companies should take. I mean, we talk about this regularly, and I don't want to beat up on Marvel too much. But
you know what? I got something.
What's that?
The Epic collections.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Marvel's doing those Epic collections as long as they keep going with them. I mean, I think
the Epic collections are really good.
I think DC could do well with bringing a lot of older stuff into the Epic collections.
Okay, I do have something that Marvel does that I wish DC would do. When you solicit a run of trade paperbacks, print them regardless of the fucking popularity of it. Marvel will
finish
print
it. Yes.
Marvel will print any goddamn garbage, right? They'll print. There's Mosaic trades out there. There's Red Wolf trades out there. I mean, he'll print.
I told you to give me a Fool Killer trade.
Fool Killer? No, they'll print anything. DC's like, meh. 1 volume of Sandman Mystery Theater? No. 2 volumes of Sandman or Starman? No. Like, that's the worst. And DC has to stop doing that. And they just did it with Unwritten. They canceled the 2nd volume of Unwritten.
And what kills me about that is you do that too. And Marvel used to be more guilty of this because I was
and Follow.
There are literally hardcovers in my collection where it's just like all they had to do was put out 1 more fucking volume and this
Rebels.
But the fact that when you get into they've canceled the volume 2, like there's plenty of books where I've sat there going, I'm not buying the first hardcover till they get out at least a 2nd or 3rd. And sometimes that bites me in the ass, like Gotham Central did on the volume 1 going out of print, but then they did the omnibus, so it all works out. But it's one of those
That's not
things,
a garbage book.
No, but my point is if you want people to buy in, they have to have faith that if they're making the leap in the investment and putting the money into it,
they're going to finish it.
That they're going to finish it. Because there is nothing worse than having a volume 1 and just needing 1 more volume to finish it.
When they printed up the Brubaker Captain America, they started doing the hardcovers. Hardcover. Oh, sale slipped. Soft cover. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Death of Captain America, hardcover. It's like, oh, come on, man. Just pick a format and keep on going, please.
I think it was Ultimate Spider-Man that really chapped your hide, Charlie.
Oh, because Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus only came out with the first omnibus and didn't do anything else with us?
No, the hardcovers on Ultimate Spider-Man was fine. No, there was an issue with Punisher, the Marvel Knights Punisher. They put out a bunch of hardcovers, and then they never put out like the final arc or two. So I ended up having to rebuy the omnibus to replace my already hardcovers. They did a volume 1 for Alias in a normal hardcover, and then again I ended up buying the omnibus because all they put out was volume 1. Hulk pissed me off because I don't remember the run of the Hulk, but they put out 2 hardcovers, and they just needed, and I only read that book in hardcovers at the time.
Fall of the Hulks? Was it Fall of the Hulks? Because I think
no.
I ran in that chat my ass too.
Maybe
they didn't do that when
No, it wasn't Fall of the Hulks. It just said Incredible Hulk on the side. Okay. But they put out 2 hardcovers for that. They needed 1 more fucking hardcover to finish that story. I ended up buying the trades just because I waited so long for that hardcover. I'm like, I really want to fucking finish this story. Yeah.
How long?
That's a huge pet peeve.
Ryan, how long did I bitch and moan about Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 1 they put out, and then for years they wouldn't put out Volume 2. I was like, are you kidding me? Some of the best stories are in Volume 2. And then
does
they put
Volume
out
2 go up to the reprint issues? Oh, wait, Uncanny.
Uncanny. So it started with Giant Size, and then 94, and then it kept on going, and then we had to wait.
Yeah,
and
like
we
a
had
long
to wait,
time.
and I had to wait. And they even came out with a second printing of the first Uncanny Omnibus.
Yeah.
Well, that was right before they put out the Volume 2.
But they finally put out Volume 2, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Volume 3 right behind that one, too. And then what? Stagnant. Nothing.
Yep.
They haven't put out anything else since then.
The 3 was fairly recent, though, wasn't it?
2 years ago.
Probably
Was
a
it?
year or so. A couple of years
I think
ago.
is it? I don't know if it's still in print. We haven't had it in the shop in a long time.
I've recycled those when they come back in print. Yeah. A couple more questions, and we're going to do our Walking Dead premiere talk here. Let's see. A question from Cab Comics says, do you guys trim back any of your Marvel lenticular covers with FOC? Yeah. This week's couple of them I trimmed down. The November ones I trimmed down pretty severely, and then I cut even a little bit further into December. So we're just not selling too many of them. We pre-sold a lot of sets in November. I'm sorry, for October. Which if you guys did pre-order them, they're out the door. So yeah, you'll get them
packaged them up and shipped them out today.
Not so many for November. Only a couple sets pre-sold. In store we still have customers that want them, but unfortunately,
I shipped 15 of those things today.
Yeah, just way more. We ordered way more than we needed. So if you want them, we have I think there's only Deadpool, maybe the only one we actually sold out of, and that's because I screwed up the order on it. Everything else we should have. Spider-Gwen, I know we had, and a lot of people working for that. I still have a handful of copies. So if you want the month, the November month, or the September month, what is this? October. The October, it's I can still get you a set except for the Deadpool one. November is still up for pre-order, so we still have sets of that available for order. ComicsConspiracy.biz. John Grosjean, twin brother. There's 2 of them.
What?
That are you
didn't see
this?
that on Facebook?
No.
Yeah. So
on Twitter, not Facebook.
There's 2 of them, and they're drawing. They're tag teaming and co-drawing, and they're apparently working on the Toby and the Charlie and Bryce comic end of it. So it's crazy.
Cable.
Is one of them a colorist?
It's crazy that there's 2 of them, and they're both artists. This makes me so depressed. He says, what do you guys like better right now, Superman or action? And is anyone maybe a little underwhelmed with Oz effects so far?
Volume 4, issue 4 comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry, part 4.
Oz. I mean, I don't think we really knew what to expect. I'm really curious where it's going. I mean, we don't know. I mean, this
is one of those stories that I could see going on either way when you get to sort of like the last issue, because either something amazing is going to happen and I'm going to be like, holy crap, and reread all of it to get all the context and everything, or it's going to be like, yeah, that is just kind of like, I will say this, like every issue of The Button wowed me. Like flat out floored me, wowed me. I have not had a moment like that with the Oz Effect.
Yep.
I think the Oz Effect is a good story. I think it's just that it's a story, like being told. There's nothing that's going to come out of it that's Earth Superman, world shattering.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's just it feels like a good just Superman. It's going to be a good, fair Superman story. So
yeah, again, I just don't know that we know where. Again, like Charlie said, I think looking back, we'll have a better idea. Just we're in the middle of it now. We don't know sort of what the end goal here is, so it's kind of a mystery. So we're like, all right, we'll see. We'll let you know.
We'll let you know next week.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
because last week started Imperious Rex.
Yeah, that's in Superman.
Lex,
yeah,
sorry.
and Superman's been great. Superman's great this whole time. All right, I think we got 1 or 2 more. Let's see. Comic Boom asks, how did Image's Maestro #1 sell for you? It sold it on my local comic shop. I'd be short $1 copies. So there you go. We didn't get any. It's coming back in next week. I was like,
Maestro #1? I didn't even try that book. Yeah. Do we get it?
Nope, we got shorted. We got shorted all of them. I didn't go huge on it.
Did you do your standard?
There's a lot of new Image comics out these days. Some sell well, some less. So I'm a little picky on going big, except on a couple of them. This one,
I love that general statement. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of comic books. Some will sell, some won't.
No, a lot of #1s.
I know.
The thing is, I bitched about this on Twitter, and I think I talked about it on the podcast. There have been so many. Just Charlie's comment. There are so many books from Image and the independent companies that will sell 5 or 10 copies of #1 and then like 1 copy in #2, and that's awful. Like, it's so hard to order that stuff.
7 to Eternity, your #9s. There's tons on the shelf still.
Yeah. Well, because they took that big break and it just went sales just plummeted. So my goal here is, okay, well, 5 to 10 copies is kind of my Image #1 number. Unless it's like a saga or like, big name. But for most of the books, I don't get that many. And by #2, I'm like, all right, I'll cut to like 3 or 4, depending on how many we sold.
Yeah, I have to tell you a lot of times if you should keep something in.
Well, for you.
Well, for me, but also like, because Sacred Creatures, you were going to cut to nothing, but you sell a couple shelf copies now, don't you?
I look and I see what I sell off the shelf. And, again, if I order 5 or 6, if I order 10 copies of #1 and sell 2, then I cut to like 1 copy and I just never look back. But there's a few of them where it's like you sell out in the first 5 minutes of opening. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll order a few extra copies. But there was one like, not Redneck, although Redneck, same thing. I don't sell too many of those in single issue. It was another one of these Image horror books where we blew through like 15 or 20 #1s and I sold 1 copy in #2. I'm like, fuck, what do I do with that? Like, that's awful. Yeah. So it's I don't know if it's speculator. I don't know if people just want to.
Which one was that?
Just try for the trade. I can't remember. It was one of those other books. I don't remember.
Was it Extremity?
Extremity. Well, that had a very similar effect. Where it was like sold out of 1, sold out of 2nd print, sold out of 3rd print, sold out of 2, sold out of 3, sold like 3 copies of 4.
Yeah, it's
like, okay, I guess that was that. Like, I guess the that dried up. Now I sell 3 copies of Extremity. Yeah, like, it's real weird. It's infuriating.
No, I think it's again. There's a lot coming out from Image. I mean, you look through that Image Plus or just the Image section in previews. And there's just so many books.
Yeah, it's like everything else.
But the thing is,
it's always interesting to just sort of keep an eye on to see what sticks. Yeah. Because even as a reader, I wait till a lot of these make it to trade now, just because.
Well, that's all my independent reading is trade at this point. I don't even read the singles anymore.
It's either Moonshine or Cannibal. Moonshine or Cannibal.
Of what?
Image.
For what?
The book that sold like 15 copies.
No.
Of #1?
No.
Not Moonshine?
No. Moonshine. I sold a handful of Moonshine. I sold like 1 #2. I did have one more question. This is an actual emailed question. Ooh, email. We get those sometimes too.
You're going to read one of those?
It's from Hunter. He says, I'm a big fan of the ComiXpiracy podcast. Thank you. I look forward to your podcast every week and love listening to older podcasts from you. Cool. I understand that since Bryce is not on this week, Bryce Larson quotes Twitter is going to go back to the Rebirth episode and quote classic Bryce lines. Shit. The worst episode ever recorded of the ComiXpiracy.
And the highest downloaded.
No, God, no.
Oh, no, that was the 0.5, wasn't it?
All right. So, you know what? I wonder if something was either going on then or going on now, because we use Libsyn like most places use for podcasts. Our numbers are all over the map. And I can't believe that randomly like 5,000 people either start or stop listening to this podcast. So, and I've reached out to Libsyn, and they're like, nope. And I'm like, well, there's a huge swing in these numbers. Something's wrong in one direction or other. Like, we're not so big that we're going to get that many more, but we're not so small that we're going to lose that many. Yeah. Like, so I don't know. Our numbers are all over the place. So I'm going to go on and say that 0.5 is actually not our highest downloaded episode.
I just want to say that, period.
I assume my Rebirth episode is the highest downloaded episode, where the truth comes out, where I can clean up the garbage that was that one episode that I was in here. You didn't try hard enough, Brock. I'm sorry. Just smack Ryan Scott in the face. He says, anyway...
I can't see him over the board.
Anyway, he says, I'm a huge fan of Grant Morrison's Animal Man run. And I should actually say, breaking news today, they announced that Grant Morrison is co-writing an issue of Metal. There's a one-shot.
Oh, wow.
That additional one-shot coming in, that the name escapes me.
Was it on Twitter on the whiteboard?
I don't...
Scott Snyder's
Scott's... I got... Wild Hunt, I believe is the one shot called.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, Morrison's co-writing that with him. So
awesome.
Yeah. But Hunter says, I'm a big fan of Morrison's Animal Man run. I was wondering what you guys think a Tom King run of Animal Man would look like. Hope to hear your thoughts. Oh, I think it would look like the best comic of the year. I mean, we have right now, like, Batman, Batman Elmer Fudd, Tom King's issue of Commandi, like...
Don't forget the Batman Swamp Thing.
Doesn't get that's not out, and that might not be till January.
No, the Batman Swamp Thing issue, the one-shot issue in Batman.
Okay, that's Batman. I said Batman. I said his run on Batman.
Oh, okay.
I thought you meant the Swamp Thing.
No, not the one coming out. The one that we got.
Yeah, no, we already did that. I mean, everything Tom King does is amazing. So I would assume it would be as amazing, if not better, than Grant Morrison's run. Because everything he does is amazing. It's so good.
Oh, man. Giving him the opportunity to deal with the red and the green. Whew.
Well, I would just want to hear... I just want to see him write fucked up stories about his wife and kids, because I'm sure that would go horribly. So, yeah, I would love Tom King to do anything. Animal Man would be perfect, though. I kind of don't want him to do, like, Justice League or, like, big stuff. I want him to stick on, like, these kind of weird... I mean, Batman's different. He's telling a very specific story with Batman. But I would love to see him do...
A Tom King Legion would blow your mind.
Yeah, but again, that's not a book that I would want him on. I mean, I would read it, of course. But Tom King's Legion is not going to be the Legion that not long term. I mean, if he did like a one-shot or something like that, sure, it'd be amazing. But his Legion run wouldn't be the run of Legion that I kind of want.
Towards. What would your first choice be? What do you want Tom King on right now? What do you want him to do?
Well, now I want him an Animal Man because it's a genius idea.
Yeah.
That's totally his type of character. Yeah, totally. Booster and Gold.
Booster King elongated
Blue
man.
I meant Blue and Gold. Yeah, Booster Gold and
Tom King elongated man.
Be awesome. Just the hard-boiled mystery with elongated man. That'd be incredible. Yeah, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Just a super depressing Booster Gold and Blue Beetle comic.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't picture that one.
By Mitch Gurnars. So after they do Mr. Miracle, they can do Mr. Gold.
And how did I say Mr. Miracle in that list of best books of the year? Oh my God, Mr. Miracle. Jesus. I
just figured you got distracted.
It's just too much good stuff. There's just too much. I don't know what to do.
Thick booty.
I don't know what to do. All right. I got nothing else to say. That was all the questions. You guys talk about Walking Dead because I didn't get a chance to see it. So, Walking Dead away.
So the season...
Oh, yeah, also, major spoilers for Walking Dead season premiere. What are we, season 8 now?
Season 8?
Yeah,
Jesus
season 8.
Christ.
Yeah, Season 8.
Episode 100.
Episode 100. Stop. If you don't hear spoilers, all spoilers from here on out. There's nothing else. Maybe random picks at the end, but that's it.
Do you want to do Patreon before we get into this
it's fine.
one?
Just go into it. We'll do that at the end. Okay. Go for it.
So, Charlie, did you watch it
Yeah.
at that night?
Well, next day.
Okay. Jim?
It went on my
I watched
TV.
it that night.
Oh, okay.
Twice.
I watched it. So I watched it as well. So what did you guys think of it? Because it's definitely it's a different pace than I think people are used to.
Well, for me, it just Walking Dead season openers and enders and that kind of stuff are always known for a certain sense of shock or oh shit. there wasn't that for me in this opener. And part of that is, again, I've read up to this point in the comics, and I like the whole navigating a herd into Negan's base and like that stuff that they did, but that's almost a little too subdued for a Walking Dead premiere. So, but I mean, it was good. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. It's just, it's so good.
We definitely got more Negan time. We definitely got more FaceTime with Negan. I enjoyed it. Like Charlie said, it wasn't a shocker. It wasn't anything that jumped out at you, but I enjoyed the story. It jumped around a lot as far as we're still trying to figure out about old Rick, and we're still trying to figure out why Rick was sitting there, just letting the light reflect him in the eyes while he's just thinking. There's those times are going to catch up in the future, obviously. Mm-hmm. It was a good episode. I did old like the Rick. Last scene with Negan. That was pretty cool. Hope you got your shitting pants on. So I'm not going to spoil that for the viewers. Go ahead and.
I think you just did with it.
No. Just check it out. Just check out the episode. It's really, really good.
Old Rick confused me because, as you said, I assumed it was a time jump, but everybody else you saw did not seem to have. Like, yes, his daughter seemed to age, but his son didn't really seem to age, and Michonne didn't really seem to age. It was just like Rick got old, and his daughter grew up, and everybody else remained the same.
So I'm ahead in the comics. I'm pretty much caught up to the last softcover. So I'm
hopefully I will catch up. Well, not catch up. So. I read up I read up to this point in sort of the slipcase hardcovers they do, and then I haven't got the volume 6 yet, but Ryan just ordered it for me. So in theory, before we get to the end of the season, I will have read enough.
Yeah, you'll have read enough at that point. So the old Rick scenes are either a dream sequence thing, which is a hope that he has, or they're already foreshadowing stuff to come because in the actual comic book they jump 3 years in the story.
Yep.
So, and again, it's one of those things where I think that I don't necessarily have a problem with everybody else, like his son, looking a little not old enough, because if they're kind of. If they do the time jump, by the time they get there, he'll already be that old age-wise. But yeah, I think that it wasn't as big of an episode as we've had in the past for an opener for a season. I still enjoyed it. It still had some really cool scenes, some really cool stuff happening in it. I kind of felt that the Savior's lookout guys aren't as tough as they were in like previous seasons. Like they kind of just went. Floop.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why it didn't feel epic.
Yeah,
like the entire episode, it felt like Rick was in control. Mm-hmm. Basically, like there was no moment where you kind of thought anything was going to play out differently than it did, because there really was no moment where it's like. And now, mind you, part of that is the one moment they tried to put in there, and obviously this is from the comics too, where the Hilltop guy comes out. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, you're not in control of the Hilltop. You didn't want to join this in the first place. Having you here doesn't do anything.
I think that they may have, because I know a lot of people who don't read the comics who love the show, who've gotten to Walking Dead through the show. The last 2 seasons have been really hard for them to watch. Just with what everybody's had to go through with, like, how Rick has had to go through, the scene, the episode with Glenn and Abraham was,
Yeah, but whereas season 7 opened up with Negan fully in charge, this season opened up with Rick in charge.
Yeah, with Rick in charge.
And he had a plan, and he executed that plan, and they stayed to the plan. And Rick, it felt like to me that Rick is getting tired of leading, that he wants to pass it off to Maggie. So,
that's, I completely agree with you, but this is a cycle Rick's always kind of had in terms of the narrative. He's always I don't want to be in charge, but then the second anything goes wrong,
he's back in charge.
Everybody's like, Rick, you're in charge. Fuck, man, I don't want to be in charge no more. I just want to grow old, a beard, and have a cane.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it was good. I'll go back to, I got my most enjoyment out of just seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan be Negan because he is such a great Negan.
Man, walking down the street for that guy must suck. Like, you can't go to the grocery store. You can't do anything normal because people are like, fuck you, Negan. Like, I'm just an actor, man. I'm just playing a part.
I did catch bits and pieces of The Talking Dead afterwards. That was really cool. They had a lot of the actors on there, and a couple surprises, and a couple of surprise call-ins as well. The very last surprise was at the very end. The question was to Daryl, the guy who plays Daryl. He asked him, do you think Daryl will ever get to the level that Merle was? And he started to answer the question, and then Michael Rooker walked out. And hey, it's Snow White. All right. And yeah.
You mean Mary Poppins?
Oh, Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins. Sorry, it's Mary Poppins, y'all. And they really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought the cast really enjoyed their 100th episode.
Yeah, I think I just caught a glimpse of like the first 6 that they brought out on Talking Dead. But again, I think that Walking Dead is one of those shows that there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of the people that just enjoy watching the show. It's a different kind of culture around. The people like with the people that watch the show versus people that watched Game of Thrones, right? But they're similar, but there's a slight difference.
To me, it comes down to that quote unquote water cooler talk. Either the episode sets everybody's talking about, oh my God, did you see this? I don't feel like there was that in this opening. No, it just.
I mean, it's definitely. I think it definitely goes. Well, what's going to happen this season? But I don't think it was one of those grabbing ones. Mm-hmm. And Charlie, was it you that said earlier that this was the lowest Walking Dead has been for a season opener in a while?
For like 5 years.
For like 5 years.
The number I read suggests it was down by like 5 million viewers. Now, mind you, it's still a huge ratings juggernaut and stuff, but it was way down compared to the past season opening.
But it's also a little earlier this year.
Well, and the last season opener was the Negan.
Yeah.
So that's to be expected because that was like, wasn't that their biggest opener ever?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it was setting records.
And the most brutal.
Setting records every year consistently over the last 5 years, which is why it sort of stands out over the fact that it didn't just not set a record, it dropped way back down. Now, mind you, as you said, I think a lot of it also has to do with the previous season opener was a big cliffhanger where you didn't know who was going to survive. And I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones were, but I always got that sense of urgency to watch like the next season opener.
I know from season 1 to season 2, it wasn't a huge cliffhanger because they didn't know.
Well, they did the whole like CDC, and then you didn't know where they were going from there.
Well, yeah, that was the 6 episode season, and then they went to the farm. Was the second season?
Yeah, which the end of that season was when the farm fell apart.
When the farm fell apart, and then they had to go, and
then you saw the prison in the distance.
Yeah, you saw the prison in the distance, and then we had the prison for 3 and 4, and that was the governor stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because 5 was the Alexandria, and then the wolves.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the season 3 to season 4, because like the governor.
Season 3 to season 4 was that town with all the cannibal people.
No, season 3 to 4, while it was still the prison, like the governor was gone for a while, and then they did like the flashback episode with him, and then brought him back in like the middle of season 4.
Mm-hmm. But wasn't that cannibal people after the prison?
Yeah, but that's where they wandered on the tracks and all that for the second half of the season, and then brought
over. What was that place called? Sanctuary?
Yeah.
But that was what, season 5, and then 6 and 7 were.
But the point being that each one was a big cliffhanger.
Yeah.
This one did not feel like a big cliffhanger. Yes, we're going to war. Hey, guess what? We started the war.
Yeah.
So,
but no, I mean it. If there's one thing I can say about The Walking Dead is it is consistent. Like, even if I fall behind or whatnot, I know what I'm getting in for when I sit down to watch The Walking Dead at this point.
Yep, that's all I got.
Did you guys think the episode could have been any longer? Like, they could have done an hour and a half or...
I thought for what it was, I thought it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the length was just fine.
Yeah, I don't know where the comic goes from here, so I don't know what the next big oh shit moment to wait for is. I don't. So
it all out war happens, and then there's the time jump in the comic. So once they time jump, then you'll have other stuff that goes on. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, Charlie.
No, I'm just saying that this is the one like big question mark for me because I don't know what's going to happen here. I remember starting to watch The Walking Dead, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait till they get to the prison, and I can't wait till the governor shows up, and then with Negan, I can't wait. It's weird watching The Walking Dead not knowing what the next oh shit moment is.
All right, Walking Dead. Yeah, I'll try to watch this episode soon.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is I think it could be people are starting to again binge watch or watch these things on their.
Oh sure,
because we
get the live 3. You get the live +3, +7 rating. So I'm sure it'll go up by Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. So
I do some random picks. If you guys want to do some random picks,
sure.
Okay.
Pick a random pick. What's your pick?
My pick is Red Dwarf season 12.
Is it over yet?
No, they've only aired three episodes so far.
I need to know this though. Okay.
No, not over yet, but it will be over in like mid-November.
Okay. What is it, 6, 7?
6 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it pretty good so far?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I really liked the last season.
The opener was amazing.
Okay.
And
I was worried that they were not going to be good anymore, but
they filmed both last season and this season back to back.
Oh, I did not.
Did all the. It's easier to get all those actors together to just film 12 at once and then release them over 2 years than it is to.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's good.
Is that your random pick?
Yes, that's my random pick.
It's not a comment. It's got to be a comment. Do you guys want to do a random omnibus pick? Since we've been talking a lot about omnibuses.
Do whatever you would like.
Yes? No? Go ahead.
What's your omnibus pick?
My omnibus pick? I would say one that I actually want to get or one that I need to get.
Pick whatever you would like.
I think I'm going to go with sorry, Charlie, I'm going to take it. The Gotham Central omnibus.
Okay.
Really solid series from DC, from Rucka and
Brubaker.
And Rucka. Just really great to see not the superhero characters, but the Gotham City Police Department and Renee Montoya and oh God, what's the big guy with the
Crispus Allen?
But it's also
Bullock,
yeah. See stuff kind of in this, on the street level for Gotham from the PD standpoint. So definitely something that I highly recommend that people get if they're curious, if they just want something really good to read.
Yeah, Gotham Central's a great book.
My random pick will be a new Punisher omnibus that came out, Punisher Back to the War, and it reprints all his first appearance all the way to his original solo series, and all his appearances in between, and Marvel Preview, Marvel Superhero Super Action. It's a great collection.
That takes it through the miniseries right before his main.
Yeah, that's okay. Through the first miniseries. All his appearances prior
to that,
in Spider-Man and in Captain America and Daredevil, all the way through
in those magazine size ones too,
and also the magazines ones that has his origins as well. So, great omnibus. It just came out. It's fully available here at Comics Conspiracy. So pick it up.
Okay, if I have to choose an omnibus, I'm going to go with the Nightfall omnibus.
Oh, they did release that.
Yeah. Well, so far they only have the Volume 1. Volume 2 is out soon.
To come out. Yeah.
Volume 2 is soon. Just as another omnibus, I have to.
Such a long time ago, I forgot. Yeah,
I know.
I do have it. I'm just waiting for the second half to show up.
Yeah, the Death and Return omnibus is out of print of Superman. right?
I think so, yeah.
They need to bring that back into print. That's a great omnibus, too.
Some of them picking omnibus because I didn't want to. But I did want to pick... it's actually a book coming out this week, and I feel like this probably would have been Toby's pick had he been here. So I will admit that I am actually not the biggest Wildstorm fan of all time. However, I do like a lot of their products. I'm very, very much looking forward to this. The Wildstorm 25th anniversary hardcover book comes out tomorrow. This is based off their 25th anniversary. They did a big panel at Con about this, and where they kind of announced this and talked about what was going to be in it. I'm just going to flip through it real quick, give you guys a little bit of a... I'll let you know what's in this. Some of it's reprints, some of it's new. Wildcats #1 in black and white, fully reprinted, which, I feel like they haven't reprinted a lot of the Wildcats stuff recently. A lot of the Jim Lee stuff. I think it's all out of print at this point.
No, they had the trades for the early stuff and then didn't do anything, and then they have... they did the Alan Moore stuff, and then the... Oh, God, who else was on that?
But I think most of that stuff's out of print at this point.
It's out of print now.
Yeah. I'm sure they're due to put out either an omnibus or an absolute.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. There's an original Deathblow story by Brandon Choi and Jim Lee, a J. Scott Campbell original Gen 13 story, which obviously that has not been done in quite a while. Art by Popmon, Ryan Benjamin. There's a Backlash story by Bette Ruth.
Nice.
Who actually wrote this? It must be written by him too. Doesn't say. Tons and tons of the best
is in there.
The best people that worked at the early years of Wildstorm. Some of the later guys. Now, one of the ones I was looking forward to the most, and I got to it here. It's Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch doing a new Authority story, which just looks... That
was in the Absolute also, though, right?
Is this the same one?
Probably.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was exclusive.
I could be wrong.
Maybe. Planetary pinups. Everyone that's ever worked for Wildstorm. Some people that hasn't. Tons of black and white version. There's a black and white pencil version of Authority 13 by Frank Whiteley. That's the reason I like it. Actually, man, it's a couple another issues soon. If you're a Wildstorm fan. Jeff Johns and Jason Pearson have a story in here as well. So yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of any of this stuff, this is the book. Tons of reprints, tons of new stuff, and I think if we see that DC book, that Superman book, I almost wonder if it's going to be something kind of similar to that, where it's some collection, some new stuff, some old stuff, some reprints. So
I have a random Halloween pick.
Okay. Halloween.
We have to do one for Halloween just so...
Are we recording on Halloween next week?
Yeah.
I guess we are.
I'm not going to be here, though. So
I won't be here either.
Pick up your Werewolf by Night omnibus if you get a chance for... I don't know when it's going to go out of print, but it collects Marvel Spotlight 2, 3, and 4, and all the Werewolf by Night entire run, and his appearances in other books as well.
That's good stuff.
Fantastic read. I love my horror.
Yeah.
So pick it up.
All right. And with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, everyone, for being on this podcast. And thank you for all your questions. We literally couldn't have done this episode without you. Let's thank our good friends on Patreon, our top-tier backers. That's Julian Titus at the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
No pants!
No, it's no pants. It's 2 words. Ryan Hess has Blowhards. It's a video game podcast. That's at blowhards.libsyn.com. Jody Lawson has Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. Also, thanks to our good friends Manoa Place, Sam Chea, Talon Bray, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, Mario Miranda. Thank you guys all very, very much for your donations through Patreon at patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Kicks $1 a month and you get some cool backer stuff. We actually have a episode. Maybe I'll see if I can get it up tonight. If not, it'll be up early next week. Charlie, I'm slacking. I got Charlie time with Cable. Cable time with Charlie.
Cable time with Charlie.
Cable time with Charlie. That works too.
That's not like a porn. But
second episode of Charlie's bonus content. That's going to be up soon. We owe you guys a Bryce briefly, so next time Bryce is on, and we're going to have some extra stuff on there as well. ComiConspiracyPodcast.com, Geekbox.net, and iTunes is where you can find this episode and other previous episodes. Please rate and review us on iTunes. It helps people find this podcast. You can go to you can shoot us an email at thecomiconspiracy@geekbox.net if you want to send us a long form question on there. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can buy your digital comics we talked about earlier in this episode. Always some good sales on there. Don't forget to subscribe. ConspiratorBrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video pull list. You can go check out what Brock's got to say on there. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast, that's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife, Leanne. She's got a bunch of new prints up there. She's just put up a second Haunted Mansion-inspired print on their Changing Portraits. So definitely check that out. Sorry. Thirsty there. We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Jim is LD Exterminator if you want to follow him. And check out the Geekbox Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, All Talk Podcast, and Manga Machinations for other podcasts in our little network. Thank you guys all very much, and we'll catch you next week.